Everyone says that Toyotas are bulletproof, but in 2026, with these things crossing over 200,000 miles and the cost to buy them pretty high, are they still worth it? Let's break it down. I've owned, driven, and been around high mileage Toyotas for quite some time, including this one behind me. So this isn't just an opinion, this is real world ownership. This is my 2004 GX 470 with 209,000 miles. Just crossed over 209 not too long ago, and let me tell you, we're still going strong. This thing drives and feels like new. The first thing you need to understand is why are people even considering buying a high mileage Toyota in 2026? And the reasons for that are new Toyotas are stupid expensive, used Toyotas are still expensive, and anything reliable and cheap basically doesn't exist anymore. 200,000 mile GXs, 4Runners, and Tacomas are selling for, I'll pop a few examples up on the screen, but these are some high mileage examples that are selling for well over 10 grand. I think the biggest thing with high mileage Toyotas is the mileage number hasn't changed, but the quality has. People just don't take care of their stuff anymore. And that will show through listings on Facebook and through dealers. And like I said before, neglect kills these high mileage Toyotas, not the mileage anymore. When I bought this GX, it had 193,000 miles on it, but it was maintained. It had tons of maintenance records from multiple different dealers, and it was pretty well sought after. And within 6 months of owning this GX, I've already put 20,000 miles on it and really haven't had any crazy issues. I've done all the maintenance, trust me, a lot of maintenance. Here's a couple things that I would look for if you're planning on buying a high mileage Toyota. Service records matter more than miles in most cases. How many owners it has had. If it has a lower amount of owners, most likely means it's been taken care of or it's just been sitting in storage. And one of the biggest things is where is it from? You don't want to buy one of these in the Midwest or East Coast where it's already rusted out. You want to get a clean frame from like California, Florida, Colorado, any of those states. I bought this one in Georgia and my last one in Florida. I recommend you do not buy one in California or Colorado because some people just be taxing. Some crazy numbers for Toyotas and Lexuses out there. It's wild. So if you're in the market, I would highly recommend looking in states like Florida, Louisiana, Georgia, Arkansas, all those states that don't get snow, and Toyota and off-roading isn't really a huge thing out there like it is in Colorado or California. Next, we're gonna talk about maintenance cost. I've done an insane amount of maintenance on this thing, but that's because I need it to be reliable when I'm driving across the country to California, Alaska, anywhere I need to go. I don't want this thing to break down. Costs are a big variable because it really depends on if you're working on it yourself or if you're taking it to a shop. Because if you're taking it to a shop to get the timing belt or water pump done, for example, it's gonna run you probably around $1,000, if not more, depending on your area. I did the timing belt and water pump myself. It wasn't too hard of a job, just took a weekend and it was done. But you gotta think about everything else. Brakes, tires, wheel bearings, bushings, upper control arms, all that good stuff. And especially if you're thinking about lifting it, then you gotta do even more stuff. With this thing, I did everything from wheel bearings, lower control arms, upper control arms, lower links, upper links, PCV valve, a bunch of little stuff, but it adds up, even spark plugs. I think the biggest thing to take away from this is you're gonna be spending 3 to 4 grand on maintenance if it hasn't been done by the previous owner. So just be ready to spend a little money on keeping your car in tip-top shape. And depending on what platform you're going, if it's a Tacoma, a GX, a Land Cruiser, there's all sorts of tiny little issues that they all have. So just be wary of what you're buying. And a big thing on these old cars is anything with 200,000 miles is bound to have something break because all these plastic parts, everything gets brittle from the cold, the warm, and it's gonna break eventually. I wanna emphasize on the reliability of these rigs because I kind of beat the piss out of this thing, but it does so good. And half of that is because I've done a lot of maintenance and put good suspension on it, but the other half is because they're really just reliable. This thing's been on many trails in Colorado, Moab, tons of other stuff, long cross-country road trips, and it's done great. Now we're gonna talk about who actually makes sense for a high mileage Toyota. In my eyes, a good fit for a high mileage Toyota is people that are good at DIY stuff or semi-good. You don't have to be doing everything yourself. Overlanders and weekend rig people who value durability over tech, and people that are ready to buy on the spot with cash in hand. There's been numerous amount of times where I've seen a Toyota with a great price and it's gone within hours on Marketplace. It's insane. People that shouldn't buy a high mileage Toyota are people that don't want to do any maintenance, because you're definitely going to be doing maintenance to keep this thing in tip-top shape. Let me tell you. Some of my friends ask me why I do so much maintenance, and they're like, oh, what are you doing? Are you doing a mod? I'm like, no, I'm doing some maintenance. I'm like, why are you doing so much maintenance? I'm like, so I can take this thing anywhere and I know it's not gonna break down on me. And there's a bunch of other options other than Toyotas for off-road vehicles, but I think the biggest thing is when you buy a Toyota like this, you're paying for the reliability of the actual car. You could go buy a Jeep Wrangler or, I don't know, a Bronco, any of that sort of stuff, but then you run the risk of it breaking. Even if you're doing maintenance, I've heard a bunch of terrible stories of people's cars just randomly going to shit. Pardon my French. And another thing to take away, I don't plan on selling this anytime soon, but when you buy one of these, they hold their value because they're so sought after, especially if they're rust free and maintained. They don't depreciate like most cars do, even though they've probably already reached the bottom of their depreciation. I mean, I don't know what this costs new, but there's a lot of variables, but most of the time, these aren't gonna drop down with 200,000 miles. Most of the time under, I don't know. If they're clean, they're gonna be going for above 10K, if it's rust-free and taken care of. So the final verdict is it worth it buying a high mileage Toyota in 2026? And I would simply say yes, but you gotta buy the right one for the right reasons and the right expectations. You can't go into buying any car and thinking it's just gonna be perfect. If you do it smart, you'll most likely outlast everything else in that price range. But for me and my GX right here, I love this thing. And honestly, and if I keep on going at the rate that I'm going with mileage, I might hit 250,000 miles by the end of 2026. We'll see. Yeah, this thing's still dirty from my recent Moab trip. Have not cleaned it yet. That video is coming soon. Stay tuned. But comment how many miles your Toyota has if you own one. I've came across some people with 500,000 miles and I was just blown away. It was a 3rd gen 4Runner and I was in Tennessee and he was like, yeah, this has got 500,000 miles, just crossed over. And I was mind blown. And if you're shopping right now for one and you have more questions, drop them down below. I'll try to answer them to the best of my abilities. Don't forget to subscribe and share this with your friend if they're looking at buying a high mileage Toyota. We'll see you guys. Drive safe.